addiction adventures, and this is another episode of JennTube. I believe we're in episode 103, and forgive the bumpiness. As I explained in another video, I do not have a car mount in my car, and so my husband, like old school, found a car mount, and it's bumpity bump bump bump. But JennTube is about behind the scenes, the mess and the fun and the craziness that is known as Jennifer DP Addictions. So sit back, relax, do a craft, don't look at the video. You might get a little dizzy, but we're in for a wonderful, wonderful ride. So I just thought, if you saw an earlier video, you saw that I went on somewhat of a blind date with Mindy from Mindy's Diamond Moments. And I'm just guessing, because I'm doing this before I even meet her, I'm guessing that it was amazing, because she's just amazing. And I have enjoyed doing the Valentine's Day snack collab / project with her. And I'm super excited to continue to be her friend and watch her channel and just see how the community just welcomes both of us. I'm so excited. But the reason I chose this to be a JennTube is I wanted to talk about the fact that at first when I was doing my opening clip to meet Mindy, I almost said, if you caught it, that I was about to do something I've never done before. And to be honest, I've done something like this before, as far as meeting somebody online, driving across state from west to east, and having this blind meeting. I am crazy, I know. Back in 1999, there was this thing called AOL with Instant Messenger. And I would go to the basement of our dorm because I did not have a computer, and I would use the computers in our dorm to, hit bumpy, okay, to finish my school papers, right? Type them up, get them submitted, those kind of things. Well, while I was doing papers, I would have instant message up, and from time to time, I would start talking to these random people. And I was a lonely freshman in college, and instead of reaching out to people in person, I isolated myself. I was going through some depression, and I reached out through people on the internet. And so I actually, self-esteem wise, felt like I was never worthy of a date. And so I would talk to these guys online, and it was nothing bad, nothing sexual or anything like that, but I would just talk to them, and they became my friends. Excuse me, I'm taking a drink here. Pardon me. And so I met this guy, and we talked for like 9 months, right? Well, not really 9 months, it felt that way. We talked for about a month online every night for like hours on end. And then we started talking by phone, and then we decided to meet each other. And I was like, okay, well, I am not, as a single female, going across state to see you. Why don't you come over from the Dearborn, Detroit, Michigan area? Why don't you come over to the west side, West Michigan, to my campus, because then, we have people, it's public, and we can meet, and we'll, meet on campus. And he was like, sure, no problem. So we were supposed to meet at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I don't remember what time it was. And so it came and it went. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I called him, and he wasn't answering his phone. And I started calling him like every half hour, because I didn't want to be stood up. And I'm like, seriously, I'm not being stood up by somebody who's never met me before, who doesn't, my self-esteem was already low, but he had not seen me. And I'm just like, great. I was stood up before anybody even saw me face to face. And I was just so, I was calling him every half hour, and finally by midnight, okay, you think I would give up by this point. by midnight, I told my roommate, I was like, he better be dead on the side of the road or in jail, because I am pissed off. So I finally went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and I called his number again around 9 o'clock, but I called his home number instead of his cell number, because he lived with his mom and his brother. And his brother answered, and he was like, oh, you're looking for Chris? And I was like, yeah. And he started laughing hysterically. And I was just like, is he laughing at me? In my head, you know, I'm devastated. Here I am, this person who got stood up. And he was like, you're Jennifer. And I was like, yes. And he's like, oh my gosh, Chris is in jail because of you. And I was like, what the heck? Chris is in jail? And I was like, in my head, I was thinking, last night I said he better be dead on the side of the road or in jail for me being stood up with how angry I was. I'm like, well, at least God chose that he'd be in jail instead of him being dead, right? And I was like, okay, what the heck is going on? So he's like, well, he's getting out later this afternoon. I'll have him give you a call and he can explain everything, because I don't understand it much myself. And this was like his younger brother. He's probably 16 years old. Chris was, 19, 20. And so I waited, and then finally Chris called me probably, I don't know, it was before dinner. So maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock. And he was apologizing. He had just gotten a car about 2 months earlier, and the car was like a sporty type car, and he had already gotten too many speeding tickets. And I guess in Michigan, I'm from Ohio, I still don't know a lot about Michigan driving laws because I never get really pulled over, but I will tell in another JennTube my pullover story. So I evidently he had already gotten two speeding tickets, so the third one means that you lose your license. And so he decided that he, on his way to see me, was going to try to outrun the cops in this car. And so he was driving on the same highway I'm driving on now, but the opposite direction. He was going like 130 miles an hour, and the cops ended up having to do this roadblock, and they thought he was this gun or drug addict because of how he was trying to get away from the cops. And so they threw him down on the ground and broke his glasses and escorted him off to jail, and it was just crazy. And I'm just like, what the heck? And he's like, yeah, do you still want to meet me? And I don't think I was the smartest chick on the block. My self-esteem was so low. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, we ended up dating for a couple months, but then he had a trial, and he ended up having his car taken away from him. He lost his license, and he ended up being in jail for 2 months. So I wrote him probably 2 or 3 times a week and would send it, and we became really close friends. We stopped dating after a little bit, and I don't even think it was dating. I think it was just like friends with, holding hands and kissing type benefits. Nothing extreme, guys. Don't go down that dark rabbit hole. So yeah, but in the end, I just kind of ended up being this person that supported him and didn't judge him. And then when he got out of jail, I don't know what happened to him. We talked a couple times, and then after that, I never heard from him again. So you would think in this social media, I've tried searching for him on Facebook, I've tried searching for him on Instagram and Twitter, but I have yet to be able to find him. So, because I thought it would be interesting just to see where he's at now. But yeah, so on my way to see Mindy, I just thought of that story and this funny mess in my life of, what silly things that we do, and God's hand was on me because I could have totally just been killed. There's great people out in the world that are just trying to have fun, and then there's people out in the world that are, sadistically evil. But Anyway, that thankfully God's hand was on both of us. He did not die. And so we just have this joke, or I have this joke, that this guy got arrested coming to see me. And so, yeah. So anyway, I thought I would share that little behind the scenes JennTube of this craziness that is my life and working the journey on getting to diamond painting. So that's just a little snippet, background information of a little bit of who I am and what makes me up. So I'd love to hear from you and hear about your craziness as well. Down below I have my email address. I also have my new Facebook group, which is Creative Craft with a K, Addictions, with Creative Mayhem, myself, and Crafts with Crashly. Come join the party with us. And I also have Instagram down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I'd love to share more JennTube craziness with you and have you join our family. So until next time, be blessed, take care, bye-bye.